Well, hello, my beautiful Cancerians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of July, right through the end of August 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, you may notice the Gaia chimes have been reinstated, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Cancerians, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and of course the third pile will be the unified energy of how things come together. Now, I don't know if you notice with the Gaia chimes, deeply reflective, but also a sense of lament, a sadness there. You know, an energy of nostalgia, of looking back, but also at the end there, this sudden activity, as if you're throwing yourself into life in order to not forget, but in order to keep your mind off things. That's what's coming through there with the Gaia chime. So let's get to the cards. I feel like you're deeply reflective right now as to what's going on in this connection. And of course, there's some hurt, some wounding, this sadness. And I'm actually being given an image in the water right now of a shooting star. And at the end of it, it kind of turns into an anchor. Such a random image. I mean, I'm not sure if you'll ever see something like that. But I mean, the shooting star can indicate some of you are wishing for perhaps with the anchor, emotional grounding in this, or a desire to come home to self, as well as have a connection with your twin that is emotionally stable, perhaps. Maybe you feel a little bit adrift with this and you're wishing to find a place where you can anchor. Maybe it's that. So I'm just going to leave that there. I have to give you all the images that I can see right now when it comes to scrying. I scry at the same time as doing your reading. I read the cards, the meanings of the cards, of course, and any of the energy that comes out there as well. I pick up on energy and frequencies. So let's see what's going on with you and your person. I mean, you've got the Wheel of Fortune, so you're trying to turn your life around. You know, this is an energy of change. The Wheel of Fortune means sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You may feel it's both a blessing and a curse that you met someone that you're so deeply connected to, but they are avoidant. Okay, I want you to be aware, if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection, okay? That is more likely to be a false flame connection, okay? And a false flame will waste your wonderful time and drain you of your beautiful love. The difference between a twin flame and a false flames will actually trigger you without evolution. There will never be any change within either of you. It'll always repeat a cycle that just is never ending, and you feel there's no personal growth or no desire to focus on your sense of purpose. A twin flame is magnetic. It is all-consuming. You can't stop thinking about your person. You're drawn to each other, but also there is this energy where it doesn't quite fit. And, you know, although it will be a very physically intense relationship, especially at the beginning, you know, the twin flame spiritual journey is more of an awakening rather than an actual physical romantic relationship. It's a process that prepares both parties to release any low vibrational energy that keeps us stuck in fear, addictive patterns, cycles, or unhealthy attachments. And it's a very intense inner vibrational transformation, but it is a period of shall we say, alone time. It's a journey of self-discovery that must be done alone. And both parties trigger each other in order to discover one's true purpose and embrace unconditional love. And only then can the reunion process take place and be sustainable. Now, it's not a game, it's an energetic exchange. I often describe the twin flame journey like magnets. You're drawn to each other, okay? Both of you know you've met your twin. It's an otherworldly experience. It's a love like no other. So, of course, you're magnetized towards each other at the very soul and the core of you. You and your twin, your frequencies are identical, okay? So if you think about two magnets that are charged and polarized in the same way, they attract each other, but also repel each other. There is that space in between, okay? There tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. Now, that's not always typical to form, but, you know, it tends to be the case. And the chaser, of course, is aware of the vulnerability of loving a person who is pushing away, because basically they're willing to open to the depths of love that the twin flame union requires. But you may have heard of twin flame mirroring, because it's a mirrored experience. Your twin reflects back to you your greatest strengths, but also your greatest weaknesses. So when you look at your twin, things that you've experienced before you've even met your twin, they get amplified if they've not been healed. So trust issues, codependency, addictions, you know, being in fight or flight mode. Some twins, you know, of course, there's a lot of fear, insecurity. They don't believe that they are worthy of love. They fear that they'll mess things up. So they run, they avoid parts of themselves. Because remember, you know, your twin is looking at you, but they're seeing the mirror of all the things within themselves that they've been running away from their whole life, that they've been avoidant of. But the twin flame dynamic exposes such a depth of love that they cannot hide from themselves. So they push back, they push their twin away because they feel like they're not worthy, or they even feel that unconditional love is too good to be true because they've never really experienced it. They feel like it's going to lure them in, and then they're going to fall deeply in love, and they're just going to be tricked somehow, or the person's going to leave. Now, my guides gave me this kind of way of describing, you know, twin flame dynamics sometimes. And I'm only mentioning it because it is something that is highly connected to your reading, because your person's showing up with the devil energy. So this can indicate there's a lot of fear. And of course, as you can see, there's spider's web there as well. So it can indicate that they feel trapped in their emotions in some way. I will go deeper, of course, on their, have we got a flipper there? I will go deeper on. No, I just felt in the deck that something flipped. No, my guides would normally tell me, and they haven't said anything, so maybe no. Okay, so yes, so my guides gave me this analogy, as it were. If you think about, you know, a very expensive item of jewelry, okay? Say, for example, like a very expensive watch, right? And it's so expensive, and it has meaning, it has value. It's not just financial value. It may be something that is very meaningful to you. You wouldn't wear that watch out all the time. You know, you would keep it precious. You would keep it safe. And the twin flame dynamic is a little bit like that. For example, you would be afraid to lose that watch because it has such sentimental value or even economic value to you. So you'd try and keep it in a safe place, but you wouldn't take it out often. You wouldn't, you know, visit it often. You would know that it's there, as it were. And you may occasionally, like, take out some costume jewelry, you know, maybe a lower value watch, for example, and wear that all the time because you're not afraid of that being broken or stolen, you know. So the twin flame dynamic, when you meet each other, the depth of love is so precious. It is so unique to the twins because you share a vibration that the runner tends to fear losing it. So it's not that they're like taking costume jewelry out, like they're seeing other people. What it means is they're so afraid of losing love, the depth of love that they've never experienced before, because it's so overwhelming, that they push it away or they keep it away so that they either don't mess it up or, no one else steals that person. So in order to retain control over their heart and their emotions, they keep love at arm's length. They keep it away because they're afraid to lose, or they're afraid to be responsible for destroying something that was so precious, as it were. Okay, so my guides gave me that specifically a couple of years ago, but my guides reminded me of this for your specific reading. Okay, this has not come up in any of the other twin flame dynamic readings at this moment in time, but it has come up for you. Now, a twin flame, I'm just giving you a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame connection. It's a formed sacred union that is often the result of shared difficulty and pain. You may notice that you and your person have gone through very similar experiences. They may be completely different, but the lesson tends to be the same. And anything that you have experienced that has been painful, hurtful, traumatic, these are things that need to be healed before you can enter in a twin flame relationship in equality, as it were. So everything that you have left unprocessed, unhealed, this is something that will literally be amplified by your twin. It becomes so much bigger. It becomes a big deal in the relationship, because the twin flame relationship is actually a process. It is something to spin you off onto your personal journey of discovery, but also to, promote healing and unconditional love for self. So there's a lot of dynamics, of course. A lot of people say, why don't twins just say how they feel? But if you're dealing with someone who's dealt with trauma, they are trying to unlearn responses, typical responses. So it can be that they are feeling that depth of emotion where it triggers all their fears, for example, and then they will slip back into a cycle where they kind of like emulate unhealed responses that leave them in fight or flight mode. And if you see this energy, there's an energy of protection with this card, with your person, but it's like they're like airborne. It's like they leave, or they kind of like bolt from the union because they feel somehow unsafe in the love process. Now, that doesn't mean that you didn't offer unconditional love, because looking at the energy with that King of Wands, there's a lot of passion there, a lot of intensity. This card indicates that there is a spiritual awakening for you right now. And you're someone who, very attractive, magnetic. This person, they're allured to you. They're very tempted by you. That's why they keep coming back. They're not understanding the depth of a twin flame connection. But with the High Priestess, they are in a period of review. They are learning to unlearn, unhealed responses, but also cycles of repeat. Because, of course, in this dynamic, you've got the cycles card. So this means you're dealing with someone who is in a pattern. You kind of know their modus operandi, as it were. They have a typical form. They come on in, perhaps a very physical, intense bond between you both. And then, of course, Eight of Wands, they leave. Or there's an energy here of protection. Umbrellas tend to mean protection. This person's protecting their emotions. We'll dig a little bit deeper to see what's going on there. But looking at your energy, I feel, you are turning your life around. You've got the 10 of Wands there. So it has been a very challenging experience. You're exhausted. A lot of you feel like this is over. But it is here that you blossom. As you can see, this is your personal journey of discovery, and it's hard. Okay, and this indicates that, you are in bloom, you are becoming, you're focusing on new areas in your life. And remember the magnets, okay, because these magnets, they're drawn to each other, but they can't quite connect because the frequencies have not changed. We change the frequencies within ourselves when we start to go through an ego death, when we start to look at what's really important in life, when we start to focus on our sense of purpose, our mission. Twin flames tend to have a mission. So if this is the chaser, reaching out, whether it's physically sending messages or whether it is, even thinking, because it is all consuming. Now, I'm someone, I want you to be aware that when I met my twin, I'd been in a very damaging relationship previously. So I was a very, very hurt person. I was a shell of myself, okay? I even became a bit of a recluse for a while because I was so damaged by this experience. And my friends were like, you gotta come out, you gotta air yourself, come out. And, so after about probably, I think it was about 9 or 10 months, eventually I started to go out. And then I met my twin. And I was like, what? Whoa, what is this? So I was magnetized to this person, and it triggered all the fears. I was like, I've been in love before, no way. But this is something that was so much more intense. I thought, well, this will destroy me. If this goes wrong, this will destroy me. So I'm coming from a point of view of a runner initially, okay? You flip polarities because magnets, they're trying to gauge each other's frequency and orbit their sphere, as it were, before suddenly they come together in a match. Now, what I did, I wanted to be with my twin. And I felt this deep love, but I was scared. And I was not conscious that I was avoidant. I was someone who was very immature back then, of course, running away from my spiritual gifts, all of the stuff. But I kept them at arm's length. I felt I was unlovable. I felt like... definitely I wasn't worthy of love because someone had already shown me their disrespect, and I had been broken by it. Okay, I was like putting all the little pieces of me back together, and I just certainly was not ready for the twin flame experience. But actually, that's when the universe sends the twin flame experience, when you are going through a challenge, or you're not expecting it, as it were. Now, just because you're in separation does not mean that your runner twin is not obsessively thinking about you, because I kid you not, this person was on my mind like 24/7, all consuming. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep. But the words of how I felt got caught in my throat. I couldn't express myself out of fear. The body goes into a weird kind of like defensive shock when you've gone through some sort of trauma. And twin flames have gone through a level of trauma. Now, I'm not here to give anyone an excuse or a way out. People must take accountability for actions. And how you deal with something, you must be responsible for that. So I'm not here to take anyone's side. I'm here to understand both sides of the dynamic so I can understand the outcome here, okay? And I just want you to be aware that if you're questioning, does this person even think about you? Do they acknowledge what's going on there? Yes, this person is a deeply thoughtful person, and I feel they're kind of like in between worlds right now, where they've got one foot in the new them and one foot in the old life that they are trying to reprogram, because this is a card of reprogramming, okay? But you've got the changing cycle, so you are changing the way that you deal with this person. You're done. You're exhausted. You've done everything you can. You offer this person passion, intensity, your heart, your emotions. And some of you may have been wondering, is this just lust or was this something more? Because you have the King of Wands there, which is a very physical card. But of course, you know that you were destined to meet this person. You know that it was more than just, a physical thing. It's intense. And you were willing to settle down with this person. You created space for this person. And I feel with this changing cycles, I feel like you're changing tack. You're focusing on your sense of purpose, because this is now you looking at your destiny and going, okay, this was hard. I can't do this anymore. Unless something changes, you're not going back. 10 of Wands sees you thinking about new start, creating space for a healthy love to come on in, something that isn't as challenging. So some of you may have thought about cutting the cord with your twin. They can feel your distance. And I'm not talking about physical distance. They can feel when you're pulling away. And right now I feel like you're pulling away. So remember the magnets, because as soon as all that energy that you've been putting out towards your twin, as soon as it goes inwards and changes that frequency, you are bringing this magnet, the runner, closer to you and giving them a moment where it is time to either step up or step out, okay? I always say, do not wait for your twin, because you have a journey to navigate and they have a journey to navigate. And the timeline doesn't always synchronize, but the universe will always bring you back together when the moment is right. I kid you not. In a big city of millions of people, I kept bumping into my twin. And I was like, what kind of sorcery is this? It wasn't that I was consciously avoiding the person. I was dealing with some very deep challenging feelings, and I needed to do that in private, you know, not even discussing things with my friends at times, like really deeply cerebrally going inwards. And your person is going inwards, but still the universe would present me this person to my face like unexpectedly. And I feel for some of you, not all of you, but because you have a Wheel of Fortune, this can be an unexpected moment where you somehow get in contact with this person. I mean, I'm looking at the energy, and the Eight of Wands indicates some sort of messaging. You know, when you get an Eight of Wands, this can indicate that this person is actually infatuated with you, but they also love drama in their life because the Devil card is present. So this can indicate right now they're trying to remove themselves and find a more peaceful lifestyle, but they are questioning whether this is love or whether this is lust. So both of you are in a frequency that is very similar for different reasons. This person is like tempted physically. They find you very attractive, and I feel like they're trying to reconcile feelings within themselves because they know it's not like how they felt in the past about other people. Okay, because for example, this person, they can kind of like be physically connected to a person and then leave. But there's something about you, they keep looking back. Now, I'm not seeing this person being with anyone else, okay? I want you to be aware of that. The High Priestess is often solitary, removed, so I will pull some cards on it, but I just get this energy that this person's trying to work things out. Like, they've never experienced this energy before, so what is it? Why are they drawn back to you? But also, the Devil card is present along with a cycle repeat with that Wheel of Fortune, and it can indicate this person, they tend to fall back into cycles, or there is some sort of addiction here. Now this can be an addiction to leaving, for example. You know, when things get too deep or you get too close, they push back because they're protecting themselves. The umbrella is protection. But it can also be that they have some sort of substance abuse situation going on there, or they're trying to be in recovery. They're trying to remove themselves from these things. This person is trying to move away from the devil energy. They're trying to protect themselves from something that is so tempting to fall back into at this moment in time. But coming back to you, I feel like you're aware that, you know, you have a destined path. You're aware that you were meant to meet this person. And because this card is in your protagonist energy, you may feel meeting your twin was a blessing and a curse, because it makes you feel like up and down, like you're drifting, like there's an inconsistency. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's not so good. Sometimes it's absent, avoidant. And you've got into a rhythm with this person where you feel it's time to change. You need to ground yourself. I mean, a lot of you, because there is a map there as well, you could be mapping your progress, going over old ground, conversations that you had. Some of you are questioning whether this person even loved you. But I can see here that this person is deeply thoughtful. They have a bond with you that feels otherworldly because the High Priestess is there. They may not have even talked about it, but they may do in the future. It's almost like they're feeling there's a psychic bond. They can feel you. They just know. So even when you reach out or they reach out to you, you kind of feel them before it happens. And that is the like unseen bond between you both. But this Ten of Wands, it tells me that you are exhausted and you feel like it's time to like burn the bridge on this, to clear space for a new beginning, to start again. You didn't have to want to be in this position, but you have to say so, like goodbye to some very challenging emotions in this. So you're sorting through the stuff. A lot of you are sorting through your own personal baggage with a Ten of Wands, and it is leading you to feel at moments challenged because, of course, spiritual awakening is not this aha moment where the harps are playing and we're like, oh, feel wonderful. No, actually, it's sorting through the mud of life. It is looking at the challenging experiences you had, the lesson in it. Is there anything that is reoccurring about you, your self-worth, you know, valuing yourself in a different way, erecting healthier boundaries, all of those things? Because I feel like you've bent over backwards in this connection, but it is mirrored to you something that perhaps was baggage that you have now had to look at, something that perhaps you didn't see before that was a root cause, and you feel it's essential for you to look at this right now so that you can bloom and be free of it. Okay, now with that Ten of Wands there, of course, you feel it's over, or you're not giving energy to this because wands are all about energy. So it means you have cut energy with this person. we've got the King of Wands. You're influencing the circumstances. King of Wands is an influencer, someone who takes the initiative to say, look, if things are not changing, I'm going to be the change. So right now, you are the change. You're changing lanes, you're changing cycles, you are having a gear shift in your life, and you're breaking the pattern. You're bringing your worries into review, and you're a very strong person. To give yourself closure on this is very hard. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. But this activates. Your action is activating something within your twin energetically to really do the spiritual work. Because there is an energy here, intuition, they can feel you pulling back. And also I feel this person's very cautious. The High Priestess is always cautious. And of course, right now, looking at the energy, you may not have had any communication with your person because High Priestess is mute or takes a vow of silence, withdraws to reflect, be vigilant. I actually feel your person is hyper vigilant. And I feel this comes from something that is like rooted to the core of them. So let me just pull a quick card because I feel this person, it's not that they've got a secret, but it's like they've got a very deep private side and something is not accessible, something they don't readily talk about, something they may have experienced or witnessed, and they keep it to themselves. But it has shaped who they are and how they operate in love. Show me why this person is so jittery when it comes to love. Why are they withdrawn? Can you show me the way? For my beautiful Cancerians, what do they need to be aware of? They're healing. We got the star energy. So, yeah. I mean, maybe the star I saw right at the beginning, the shooting star. I mean, some of you are literally going to see a shooting star. Are there any shooting stars in this? I mean, you got the star right there. Manifestation can be a wish. You know, your wish will be fulfilled. The star is intense healing. But I did see an anchor there, and I don't see there's any anchors in these cards either. No, so I feel perhaps the wish of finding emotional grounding in this, where you both can come to a position where you kind of like stop drifting in this connection, heal, and align with a brighter future together, because the star energy indicates this person's putting a bit of a spotlight on their life. So they may reveal something that has been hidden within themselves for some time. They will really want to talk about it. They'll be very protective of this, but they will want to talk about this with you in the future. You haven't heard the last from this person because the Judgment card is there, which means this person is judging the situation, and so are you, but from both different viewpoints. And the Judgment card means another chance. This person wants another chance with you. But the Ten of Swords is there, so that can indicate that this, you know, it feels challenging. It's like just when you feel it's time to let go, not because you wanted to, but because you felt like you had no other choice, suddenly they come on in and it presents a whole new headache, for example. Also, there may be some sort of interference in this connection because the Ten of Swords, as you can see, lots of needles there. This can be like interference from their friends saying, you need to mend this. You need to step up. If this is how you feel about your twin, you need to do something about it. And the more, you know, people, I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever someone like tries to push you to do something, the more they like push back. They're like, I'll do it, but they never get around to it because they're just like, stop bothering me. So it could be something like that right now. But as you can see with this, I feel both of you have a lot on your mind to do with this, and it causes a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of sadness. So I feel right now you're thinking it is over. But that Judgment energy indicates that you will get a call from this person or a text from this person. This person will reach out in order to find an alternative way to communicate with you or converse about something else, okay? And they may not directly talk about why they left, but they will get round to it eventually. And I say that, you know, your person is the person who is going to reach out in this. I don't see you reaching out because Ten of Wands is like, you're done. You're exhausted. You can't do this anymore. Enough is enough. You're broken by this experience. And again, I'm sending you a huge hug out there. But in this person's healing process, the Eight of Wands, please look up the meaning of the Eight of Wands, because this means, you know, movement and improvement. It means news coming in, which may require one to act decisively so they can feel you detaching. And I feel this person is going to reach out to you because there is a call energy coming through, and I don't see you doing this. We got the Ace of Cups and we've got the Strength. This person needs to heal so that they can face love, be strong enough to accept love, unconditional love into their life. They've struggled with this their whole life. Okay, the Ace of Cups, for some of you, not all of you, but the Ace of Cups can also indicate that this person, you know, love to party, or maybe is healing from some sort of substance. I'm being given like a certain step program, so they may have entered into that. Not all of you dealing with someone like that, but because we have the Devil card there, this can be an addiction. But what I do see here, the Star is healing, and they will complete their healing path. There is a brighter future for both of you. Ace of Cups, this person loves you. I'm clarifying the High Priestess. You know, this person is not talking to you about how they feel because they're scared and they need to heal something that they have deep within them that has lain dormant in the back of the recesses of their memory or their experiences, and they've dealt with it in a very strong way, you know, quietly. This person is trying to calm their emotions when they start to panic, when they feel that they're getting too close to somebody and they got too close to you, or should I rephrase it, you got too close to them. And sometimes when you get too close, it feels exposing. Especially if this person feels like they would be judged by something, because there is a judgment card right there. So as you can see, there's a keyhole. Now, if you think about it, she is blocking the keyhole. It's like, do not look at my secrets. Do not look into my life, because you would not like what you see. So I'm keeping you at arm's length because I need to protect this part of me that either this person is not proud of or this person feels exposed or vulnerable in. So it's like you got so close you could really see them. And this person, if they're feeling unlovable or they're feeling that they need to protect a part of themselves, you know, they don't want you to see something, so they're going to be the gatekeeper at the door. And the gatekeeper at the door is not a boundary, it's a brick wall that keeps everybody out. So I feel right now this person is healing, and the Ace of Cups showing up just indicates that, yeah, this person does love you. Now, they do have the Devil card, which I will pull a card on separately, but this is the temptation. You know, this person may not trust themselves not to fall back into a cycle repeat. And if their life was in chaos in some way, it's like they thought they were protecting you, because there is an energy here of protection. Umbrellas always represent protection from a storm or stormy weather or even like depression. You know, I'm not medically trained to talk about that, but, you know, I feel it could be a factor with this person. They felt them stepping away, number one, protects their fears, protects them from rejection and being hurt or being left, because I feel that's a big like fear for this person. But also I feel like they thought they were protecting you from their level of chaos. They may have even said to you, you deserve better. That's their way of saying, just stay away. But still, you persisted. Still, you loved. You know, if you think about the Strength card, the lion is kind of like a very tumultuous beast, one of courage and intensity, but also danger, you know? So it can be that this person kind of like presented this facade in order to keep people at arm's length. You know, if you think about a wild lion, you know, when they feel threatened, they will do that sort of like, you know, they'll do that jump forward at first in order to scare a person out of their immediate circumstances, so they can assess the situation before they either decide to launch an attack or, you know, withdraw. So it's like, stay away. And you are like, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Strength card sees a figure that is like, I see all the things that you're dealing with, and still I love you. Still I come towards you. Still I offer gentleness. I offer this energy of safety, that you can feel protected in my energy and feel safe to be you. But still, you know, they're hesitant. So I feel they are aware that you're someone who wanted to stick around. But now that they've pushed too far, or they have got to a position where they're so avoidant, they realize that now they're stuck. Now they're in an energy of, how do I work my way back? So let me just pull a quick card on that Devil energy, because I feel it's more than just fear. My guides are highlighting the cherries to me, but also the spider's web. So it's almost like this person may have been caught in an experience in the past that hurt them, or they felt trapped in. And it's like the Eight of Wands, they need an exit. This person needs an exit in life from a lot of things. And it's not just love. So for example, this person, they may not like to sign contracts, right? Because they feel like locked into it. Or they move around sometimes, or they need to be like constantly on the go. They're running away from something. 10 of Wands, interesting. Baggage. You may know what this is as well, because you're showing up in the same frequency with that 10 of Wands. So this person's been carrying something around with them for a long time, and so have you. So it's almost like both of you have shown a mirror to itself. It's like the core of yourself. I say itself because I feel at the core of you there is a oneness, but at the same time, twin flames, they're whole all by themselves. Just because you're separate doesn't mean that you are half of yourself. I hate that kind of like misconception that we are searching for our other half, because that somehow implies that we are not whole. And then we will be constantly searching for something outside of ourselves. And I feel this is about acknowledging that both of you have been dealing with something that has been heavy for a long time, and it has been triggered in this twin flame dynamic so that it can be processed, released, and a potential new start occurs for both of you. But this, I feel there's an energy of resentment with your person here, resentment for something they've had to carry around with them for a long time, a responsibility or a burden. And they feel stuck in a rut with this, and they know in this restlessness there is a need for change. So I feel, because the Devil card has shown up with the 8 of Wands, this is a catalyst for change energy. It indicates this person is focusing on themselves. They are transforming, celebrating how far they've come, but also recognizing there's still more to go. This is the adventure of discovery. It's energizing. So that's why I feel this person, they may tell you that they are seeking a counselor, or they may tell you that they have gone to someone who listens, psychiatrist, therapist. You know, I just get this energy that someone is listening. Now you offered to be that person to listen, but sometimes, you know, we need someone who is not connected to the intimacy, or someone who is impartial. So I feel this person is talking to someone who's just listening and kind of like prodding with leading questions in order to discover the root cause of why this person has been avoidant. And this is something that they need to figure out for their whole life, not just for love. Okay, so they may have a conversation with you about that. But the 8 of Wands indicates that they will elevate. They're on track to make a major transformation in this connection, and they realize why they have been protecting themselves so fiercely. It's connected to this. This is fear. This is feeling stuck. I feel there's an energy of depression connected to that as well. But I also feel that this is an energy, because the High Priestess is to reprogram. It is to assess the past in order to strengthen your present moment and influence your future. Okay, so I feel this person is looking at cycles of repeat, maybe things they've learned from unhealed people, like parents, guardians, for example. No blame here, but it's about acknowledging that we are passed down certain ways of experiencing life, and we must acknowledge that that is not our narrative. That's something we witness, or something that has been experienced, but it's something now that shaped who you are, but it's now in the past. So we must reprogram in order to make sure it no longer has power over future happiness. So it can be this person is kind of reprogramming things that they've learnt in the past, coping mechanisms, for example. They have discovered a reason why they always need an exit. And I feel it comes from the very root of them. So that's all I'm being given on that person, but let's see the outcome. Actually, let's go one more on them before I go to the outcome. Can you show me anything more about this person for my beautiful Cancerians? What else do they need to know? 10 of Wands again. Okay, so it stops there. It's all about this baggage. It's all about the heaviness, something they've carried around with them. And also, I feel like there's this energy of maybe in the past they did too much. They had a lot of responsibility on their shoulders from a very young age, and there was a resentment for that. And it's like now they just wanted to be free. They felt trapped in something, and now they just wanted to be free. And then they found love on such a deep level, because this is how they feel about you, okay, as well. You're someone who helps them advance from being stuck. You're someone who has a deep, intuitive soul. You know them on a different level. They can't understand what that is. It is, again, like, what is this sorcery? What is this magic of love that they've never experienced before? It is otherworldly. You see them on a different level, and that scares them because you see right through them. You see their soul. I just heard we are made of stars. So either this person said this to you at one point, we are made of stars. Now I'm seeing like carbon and what do you call it? Like mathematical equations, and yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. I mean, either that's relevant for you or not, I'm not sure. I just heard, though, my guide said we are made of stars. So maybe this is something you're going to hear or see over the next coming weeks that highlight some sort of communication from your person. But the Devil card is like, they see you physically as very alluring. They are magnetized towards you. But when you have an Eight of Wands, it means that things went a little bit fast for them, but they also see a future. Eight of Wands is always to think about like the direction you're headed in for your future. So I feel like this person, they are assessing whether it's lust or love because they're thinking about their future. But they know that there is an otherworldly bond where you see them, aspects of them that no one else gets. The outcome is the manifestation, which basically means you can have in your hand what you can see in your mind. This is you and your thoughts. It is about your potential outcome for your twin. Now, of course, this is a card of magic, of miracles, of magnetism. So this is also about grounding, because if you see the two pyramids there as well, this is about a foundation and channeling your energy into the possibility of the relationship coming together, because both of you are called to be with each other. The Judgment card is to leave certain aspects behind in order to embrace a new way of living. So this is the wake-up call. And I would say your person is going to reach out. I feel a lot of you, because you do feel like, well, it's over. You don't see this coming. But I feel it then throws up a whole new set of questions. Okay? Because, of course, there are infinite possibilities of how this is going to go. And the Judgment card is to judge or assess, but also bring worries into perspective. It is a card where you go through a period of protection. You are on purpose separated. It is a rite of passage in a twin flame dynamic. But I do feel this is about a rebirth, an awakening, because, you know, I feel your twin is called to reach out to you and you will hear from this person. And this, as I mentioned, is a card of another chance. I feel like you've given them a lot of chances. To get to the Ten of Wands, that's pretty like intense. It's like you've tried everything, you're exhausted, and you're just now prioritizing your own needs. But your person, you haven't heard the last from them because of these cards. However, I feel with this Ten of Swords, there is this energy coming in really of like overthinking, overanalysis, fear. I mean, also I feel at the root, very root of this energy, I feel there's an analysis paralysis because there was some sort of betrayal. So it could be that, you know, there is an energy here of discussing betrayal or being left or, you know, loyalty in love. But let me just see what this is, because the Ten of Swords basically means things are as bad as they have got. And the only way is up. You've got two tens here. Where do you go from a 10? Well, it leads the way to a fresh new start. But some things have to be left behind. We cannot live in the past. The past occurred and it shaped who we are, but we learn from it, adapt from it, move on from it, because it will always keep us stuck. And I feel like your person has been stuck with that Devil card. You've been stuck as well, but for different reasons. We've got the King of Cups and we've got the King of Swords. Interesting. We've got two kings here. So this could be two people. I am clarifying this Ten of Swords there. I did mention that there is some sort of interference. So this could be friends, someone who is, you know, telling a person to detach from love, someone who perhaps has been divorced or separated themselves. And then the King of Cups is someone who loves and says, you know what, love leads the way, love wins. Go for it. Follow your heart. So it could be interference. That's what I'm picking up here with these two kings. But they could also be aspects of self. And this could be both of you. because you're showing up in King energy as well. This is not a gender-specific reading. You tap into the energy of it. You know, masculine energy is all about action. It's about the way forward. It's about, you know, how you take charge. And the feminine energy is about being open to receive, to allow the universe to deliver. So, you know, with these two kings, this could be on both sides. The King of Swords is like, should I go, sever ties, distance myself, protect myself? You've been hurt. King of Wands, for you, is like, but you still feel passion. You still feel energy towards this person, and you're trying not to. You're trying to withdraw and be stricter with yourself. And the King of Cups is like, well, there's love. I can't, you know, dissolve this feeling of love. I yearn for this person. And I feel it's on both sides. So let me just go one more with this King. 4 Wands, Ace of Pentacles. So it is connected. It is, should I stay? Should I go? Because the 4 Wands is to reunite. You have not heard the last of this person. 4 Wands is to come together. So I feel this person will, you know, try and meet up with you. And I feel like they'll try and focus on seeing if you can start again. Because the Ace of Pentacles is, you know, potential. It is, can we start from a healthy place, a foundation where we recognize that outside circumstances have really influenced this connection? And I'm not just talking about interference with people. I'm talking about experiences from the past. I'm talking about wounds from the past. Outside experiences prevented this true love from really connecting in the way that it should. Because, of course, you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Judgment card, which is all about destiny. So I feel both of you will be called back together at some point, especially with these cards. Your person will reach out. They want to talk. They have been thinking about you. They're actually going to message you that they've been thinking about you a lot. You've been on their mind and, you know, they miss you. And it's not just a random message. I feel like they mean it. But of course, be cautious. You know, move towards it if you want to reunite with this person with an open heart, but with no expectation. And I feel that they are trying to reprogram in order to, you know, remove themselves from this cycle that they've been stuck in for some time so that they can be free to love, be free to have, you know, a relationship that is not heavy, that is not haunting them of all the possibilities of what could go wrong. Now they're trying to move into a period of like what could go right and how to settle down for their future. Now this deck is all about conversations that have been left unsaid. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? Okay, so we have I'm heartbroken and need healing. Now they did get the Star energy and they've got the Devil card, so I would say they are healing from something. Now, I didn't get an energy of like previous relationship, only briefly, so I mentioned it briefly, but I feel it goes deeper than this. We've also got, I'm not ready, please have patience with me, and please give me time to open up. I mean, I feel like you've given them a lot of time. You've been very patient with them. I always say, do not wait for your twin, because they're going to reconcile things within themselves until they can face themselves and face their stuff. And it will be a process. So just be mindful of that, okay? You know, just because you're reuniting and they're reprogramming, Ten of Swords still says there's stuff haunting this person or there's stuff on their mind, but there's also stuff going on with you as well. So I would say, you know, the twin flame dynamic is giving you both the breath in order to focus on your sense of purpose and come home to self. We've also got, I'm feeling the consequences of my actions. I feel like they do. I feel like they are aware, and there is some regret there on how they withdrew, because their first card is to withdraw. High Priestess is to go silent, is to really be deep in thought, to be cautious, like, whoa, what's going on here? Let me think about this. They have faith, though, that they can get over it, but the Devil card present says there's something that keeps whispering to them to fall into a cycle of repeat or something that's tempting, and they're trying to remove themselves from it. We are healing and learning with all of this. And I feel that's what both of you are doing at this time, because you're both showing up as tens. 10 of Wands. There's something going on there where you are processing something, and, you know, it will be a project. I feel like you can make it happen for your future, but I would say the next 6 weeks, because this is the next 6 weeks outcome, I would say you're going to hear from your person, okay? But it may not lead you to meeting up just yet. I feel like after the 6 weeks, you will reunite and have a head-to-head that may be very challenging to deal with, but at least some truths will be put on the table there. Now, I'm just going to go and get some final cards. This deck, it can highlight some things that perhaps have not been thought about in the twin flame dynamic. So let's see what comes out for you there. So we have friendship. This romantic union will be grounded in friendship, a very playful connection meant to teach you to have a more carefree attitude. That's interesting because both of you got 10 of Wands, which is responsibility, it's burden, it's heaviness. So your separation period is teaching you to be more independent, to love your single life and be more playful. I mean, life is very challenging, so it's hard to connect to that. But I feel this is something that both of you are finding your way to at this moment in time separately. So, you know, you may offer moments of what seems like friendship at first as you listen to each other, because this person is still going to reach out. I don't feel like you've heard the last from this person, okay? Because there is a Ten of Swords in your future, I would have to say, just be mindful, there may be like another cycle of disconnect while you try and recalibrate. But, you know, it's so important. Do not wait. And I would say just get busy living. But we also have the Runner here, and we have jealousy. So because the Devil card is there, you know, if someone's feeling unsafe in a connection, it can indicate that there is something that triggers jealousy or feelings of not enough. Low self-worth can also make someone feel jealous, especially since my guides gave me the analogy of like the precious watch. It's like they fear that it could be stolen from them. That would be jealousy. That would be like someone else could come along and take you, or you know, could destroy the relationship. So maybe this person has dealt with this in the past. They may have told you or not. Maybe a conversation in the future or not. But that's something that's coming up there. But it says here jealousy. And it says jealousy is a major sign of a bad relationship. Small doses is okay, but it's ruling your connection. And it may be a sign to let them go for now. Or let them go. So until someone can reconcile that within themselves, and I do feel your person will tell you that they are seeking a counselor, they'll always be on the run. They'll be avoidant because fear will keep them detached from people in general. But I feel like they are starting to be aware that their actions have had consequences. It says here, Runner, your love interest doesn't want to be involved for whatever reason right now. Don't mistake their running for a twin flame connection or try to force it. So that's why I gave you right at the beginning, you know, make sure that you're in a twin flame dynamic, not a false flame dynamic. I mean, whoever I just read for, it's a twin flame dynamic, okay? But I do feel this person with the 8 of Wands there, they're protecting their energy. They are someone who needs an exit in some way at this moment in time. But with the High Priestess, the combination means there is a commitment to change. That's the difference between a twin flame and a false flame. A false flame will never commit to change. They'll just come on in and take the best of you, and that's it. So just be a little bit mindful, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Okay, oof. So we have a heart that is burning with desire, which I feel both of your hearts do, but there is a barbed wire across that heart. Protection, pain, sadness, but also a deterrent from anyone getting closer. So I feel this is the root of this separation at this moment in time. Can it change? Absolutely, but the work needs to be done. Should you wait for that work to be done? Absolutely not. Okay, remember, universe will bring you back together when the moment is right. And what is meant for you will never, ever pass you by. Okay, it will always come back around again, maybe in a different form. And I feel like your twin will come back around again in a different form. But protect your beautiful heart, because this person is still reconciling things within themselves. And you don't really want to get caught up in that storm. Okay, you have your own path to focus on, your own purpose. You're doing you. You are magnetic. I mean, look at this. You actually get a lot of attention as well. But I feel, you know, in your future, things can work out, but at this moment in time, I would say it's at a bit of a plateau, okay? So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Cancerians. I hope something resonates. I mean, in fact, I really wish none of it resonated. I wish you would all be with your twins and you are having your happy ever after, but life is complex. Hearts are complex. So I have to be honest with the energy that's coming out there and read for what it is. So I hope it resonates on some level, okay? Thank you so much, my beautiful Cancerians, and love and light.